Welcome back, everybody. An important topic here. How many times have you procrastinated on a new project or stopped doing that one thing that makes you feel really great? And do you find yourself trapped in a cycle of self-sabotage, wishing for change yet unable to hold yourself to it? Well, psychologist Dr. Kim Taylor is here today to answer the question, why do we stop doing those things that we know are good for us, and how can we get back on that positive path? So, Dr. Kim, so good to see you today. I think we're all guilty of this in some respects. You know, I think we have good intentions. We say, hey, I want to do this, but for some reason it just doesn't happen. So what kind of leads to that self-sabotage?
Well, one of the things is that people get afraid that they're not going to measure up. And so because they start to get afraid of that, they start to back away, because if they were to go toward it, it would be a hit on their self-esteem. So that's one of them. And then if in fact you get close to it and you have a success, then the fear is, oh my God, am I going to be able to maintain this and with all the expectations that come with that? So that people tend to avoid it when their fear starts to take hold.
Got it. So fear, it seems to be one of the
main factors.
Obstacles. But what are some of the other obstacles that kind of may hold you back?
Well, one of the things people use is excuses. They have all kinds of reasons why, whether they blame themselves or they blame someone else or a situation. And that once they start to do that even if they're going to take that test, they don't do it until the night prior to it. So if they fail, they can always use the excuse that, well, I didn't have time. Yes. And then the big one is fear. That fear keeps us in our comfort zone because we continue to think those old thoughts. And so with our fear, if we're not willing to challenge it and to do whatever it is we need to do and do it scared, then we're just going to keep backing away and backing away. And then the third one is really that critical voice in our head. That voice that always says, you're not good enough, you'll never be good enough, you're not worthy, you don't deserve this. And we need to find a way to quiet that voice in our head in order to be able to move forward.
I think you hit on a very important point, and that is a lot of this is in our mind, and sometimes, you know, our thoughts can clearly affect our behavior.
Absolutely.
So kind of speak to us about that and how you can maybe change what you're thinking.
Okay, and that's just it. We actually have the power to change our thinking. We can control our thinking because we can't hold a negative thought and a positive thought in the same space. We can have one in the other, but they can't fit in the same space. So if you're willing to challenge those negative thoughts and replace it with a positive thought, you can start to move forward and move closer toward that goal. And then what I would say is that you want to take some time to really write down in a very specific way what the images that you would like to see and to believe about yourself to be able to move toward that goal. So think about, how would I like to see myself doing this, and be really clear and spend some time doing that. And now you have a new filter that everything you think, everything you do, and everything you say has to go through this new filter. So you ask yourself, does this thought or action get me toward my goal? And if it doesn't, then you throw it out. But as you start to do this and start to get closer to your goal, you will feel that you are changing, and therefore you can start to do that third thing where you start to believe in yourself. Because once you can move past the fear and to do this kind of filtering, then you want to be able to do this and follow this every single day. So whatever you say and whatever you do, it goes through that new type of filter to be able to really believe in yourself.
And so, okay, let's kind of put it into practical terms. Let's say here's a project I've been trying to get off the ground for a while. I've kind of been dabbling at it, touching it, but then leaving it and procrastinating on not kind of getting it to finish because of maybe fear of not being able to, you know, fulfill it once I get there, or failing it. So here's someone who's hit this realization, okay, I really need to do this. How can what's the first step of maybe getting there? Or, you know, as you said, should we start writing down? Should we, what should we do practically?
Well, part of it is to be very aware of what your thoughts are and know which ones that you're being led by. Are you being led by the negative ones or positive ones? That's the first one, because you have to be able to know that you are going to have some fear. There's always going to be fear, and you can never get rid of fear. Fear will always be there, so you have to be willing to challenge it and do it scared, but just do it like the slow,
Just do it, Nike.
Just do it, but
Yeah.
do it scared. And then
So you mean own up to whatever is holding you back and really being in touch with that kind of thing?
Yes, and being willing to change the self-belief that you have about yourself, because that critical voice is always going to say you can't do it.
Right.
And you want to create that image and see yourself as being a person that can do it, and then follow that, because once you say, okay, does this help me? Does this thought help me, or does it hurt me? Does this behavior help me, or does it hurt me? So it's one step on the path to success and towards your goal, and one step off, but one step, just one step.
So we have about 50 seconds left here, but do you believe in maybe starting slow, setting little goals, or just diving into it?
Whatever works, really,
Okay.
because I think that if you set the small goals, then you'll start to build on that kind of a success, and you'll see yourself as a successful person by doing the small steps. And this thing happens is you start to build a new neural pathway in your brain, and to see yourself as a person who can achieve.
Got it. Okay, important points. Thank you so much. Self-Sabotage. Dr. Kim, thanks so much for joining us.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for waking up with us. Have a beautiful Wednesday, everybody.